Hey, peace and blessings. It's your brother Asare back with another one. Hope everybody's doing good on this Mad Monday. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all tuning in, checking me out again. Y'all like what y'all been hearing, like and subscribe. Man. We're gonna get into it. I think y'all see the title of the video today. Um, in keeping with the thing, I know we skip around a lot on a lot of different we switch gears a lot on this channel and stuff like that. Um, from history to the workings of the mind, just different stuff or whatever case may be. Try to always throw out every now and again just something you can do at the house, like a exercise or something like that. Sometimes this ain't nothing, I don't know, extraordinary or nothing like that. You ain't finna be, you know, brainwashing your neighborhood dog or cat or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Having a moon walking on your roof or nothing like that. Ain't that type of party. But, um, this is gonna be a little exercise at the end of this video that you can kind of do. We're gonna kind of build up, the context of it all, and then it's gonna be one of them exercises that you can't do. It's one of my favorite things to I know a lot of people, a lot of stuff we talk about, a lot of people, my favorite people in the world, man. I don't believe in that. I don't think, I don't believe. So this is one of them things for my non-believers. You know what I'm saying? Because even my non-believers can try this at home. Okay, so you probably see the title of the video, Bardo States and applying dream interpretations to waking phenomena. So we're gonna get into this, man. Let's see here. Let's hop right in. Okay, so let's see here. In the traditional view, y'all excuse me, my hands a little ashy, anything a little ashy. I'm fresh out the shower, fresh off work, man. Just trying to, what I'm saying, back in black. Yeah, I mean, like Venom in this thing. So, what I'm saying, y'all excuse me if it's a little ashiness going on. Like I stuck my hand in some flour or something like that. Y'all excuse me. Let me see here. In the traditional view of a dream interpretation. Let's see, it is, let's see, it is that the dream, excuse me, in the traditional view of a dream interpretation, it is implied that dreams, which are exclusive to the sleep state, hold an interpretable meaning. So, dreams are supposed to have some manner of interpretable meaning. When you go to sleep, you see images and stuff like that. You should be able to, run down the various things or whatever break or what I used to do when I used to have, let's say, like a dream journal. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a different aspect of memory. It's a more illusory aspect of memory. But you'd be surprised if you ever keep a dream journal and just as soon as you wake up, write down whatever you tend to dream about or whatever you dreamed about for that night or whatever case may be, and you can actually remember your dreams longer or whatever case may be versus sometimes they're illusory or whatever case may be. You may remember it and then it may kind of dissipate as the day goes on or whatever case may be. You only remember faint details or whatever case may be. It's always good to when you're in that practice, you're doing that, you're kind of working on that technique, whatever you're working on dream wise, it's kind of cool to always keep a dream journal. Um, but in the traditional view of dream interpretations, imply that the dreams which are exclusive to the sleep state, dreams which are exclusive to the sleep state, hold an interpretable meaning, right? But you operating with the same subconscious mind, whether you sleep or whatever, whether you awake, sleep, or whatever case may be. So moving right along. What is a dream? A dream, a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind during sleep, right? Or a um, cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal. Now, this is, dream as a noun, as in a noun in the English language. Okay, now that's on dictionary.com, I believe. Okay, so if we go into the Google AI, we're gonna keep going into, deeper into this thing or whatever case may be. So these are dreams are thoughts, images, sensations occurring in a person's mind during sleep. So we're saying that dreams have an interpretable meaning. So if you have various different components of your dream or whatever case may be, you can break it down and jot down all the different components and you know right at this point, you can damn near Google it and get the interpretation for your dream or whatever case may be right there on your phone or whatever case may be. Okay, the different parts of it. Okay, according to Google AI, we have sleep state. What is a sleep state? A period of reduced mental and physical activity where consciousness is altered and sensory activity is partially inhibited. During sleep, there's a significant decrease in muscle activity and interaction with the surrounding environment. This state involves cycling through different stages of sleep, including non-REM and REM sleep. REM is your rapid eye movement and everything like that. Um, okay, still Google AI. What is a dream state? A dream state, in a general sense, refers to a state of consciousness characterized by dreaming during sleep, particularly during REM sleep. It's an altered, um, let's see, uh, it's an altered state where the brain is active, similar to wakefulness, but with input output gates closed and a chemical shift. It's the period when our brain processes and experiences the vivid imagery and narratives we often call dreams. So, okay, so this kind of gives um, a little bit more flesh to what we're talking about. Okay, so your dreams typically happen, during your REM sleep and everything like that. So it's equating the dreaming with REM sleep and everything like that. Okay, so let's kind of take it back a little bit. So, a lot of stuff we talk about, and a lot of people would equate certain things, certain ideas with, like a new age type of thing or whatever. A lot of this, your new age, um, it's a movement. It's whole spiritual movement where they have different, it's an offshoot of more ancient information, sometimes um, with certain innovations to it for better or for worse, or whatever case may be. But a lot of the stuff that we kind of talk about, we kind of going back into like animism when we talk about like the experiential. It's based off of it's animist in nature or whatever case may be, dealing with like your symbols, your patterns, your principles. So it's kind of um you know how a shaman would think, something in that ballpark or whatever case may be. So it must be remembered that that thought process, though that's some of the most ancient ways of thinking, known to man, that particular type of process or whatever case may be. So when we mention certain things and certain words and certain concepts or whatever case may be, we're going back into that realm of thinking. So, I know a lot of the concepts and things that we may talk about could easily be equated with some sort of new age type thing, but again, keep in mind that we're actually trying to go back. You see what I'm saying? When we talk about symbolism and there's various different things or whatever, we're going back, trying to think more so how the ancients viewed things or whatever, or something closer along those lines. But moving right along. Okay, so what is a bardo? Okay, so in Tibetan Buddhism, a bardo is a state of existence between death and rebirth, varying in length according to a person's conduct in life and manner of or age at death. However, the concept of bardo extends beyond the specific context to describe any state of transition or uncertainty, including those experienced in everyday life. What so basically, everything is a bardo, but specifically a bardo is an in-between state. So, um, I think it was a guy likened it to a bardo in between, like being in between jobs, and that portion of time where you kind of like in limbo, you ain't really got a job, you kind of like just hanging out, whatever case may be. Um, he likened that into a bardo, but typically it's viewed as the period between life and death. That's the basis of, let's say, like your Tibetan Book of the Dead and everything like that, or whatever it takes place during the that phase or whatever, or that particular bardo. But in general, it's just an in between state. So even your everyday waking life is considered a bardo, and they break it down into different bardos and everything like that. It's actually a kind of loaded concept because how it's divided and everything like that comes out of the Bon religion and Tibetan Buddhism. Let's see here. In psychology today, it describes being in a bardo as feeling like you are at the end of one phase and before the beginning of the next, a state of being suspended between two realities. So that's what it's saying with a bardo. So in essence, we are always in bardos. The waking bardo, as it's called in Tibetan Buddhism, refers to the state of ordinary consciousness from birth to death. So the state of ordinary consciousness from birth to death, that's considered the waking bardo. So as you can see, it's a name for each of these so-called in-between states. And like how it's been said, when we did the whole thing about the heart, how your brain is not, how your mind is not in your head, how the heart actually tells the brain what to do, the heart emits an electromagnetic field or whatever case may be, kind of out from the body or whatever, and it actually has a level of communication with other fields, like how we talked about how fields interpenetrate fields. You have to check out the video we did about the science of the heart and everything like that. It goes into that whole thing about the medical science and everything like that they've um, come to realize about what the heart actually does and this and the actual function, um, excuse me, of the heart or whatever case may be. So let me see. Uh, the bardo of this life, or natural bardo, is a traditional state between birth and death. So that's just another name for it, or whatever the case may be. So, hold on a sec. Yeah. So, in various literature, you run into, different wording that refers to consciousness, or a person not being born or dying or whatever case may be, but just transferring, you know, through different shells. And it talks about, various different literature talk about reincarnation and all that. And this kind of goes into that whole doctrine or whatever case may be. Um, you know, that is implied because when we dealing with the idea of patterns and everything like that or whatever, that's basically implied as we deal with patterns and as we get into a lot of this. Um, but the idea of a bardo would be like a frequency threshold, like how we talk about various frequencies, because a lot of people liken um, the self as, um, I don't know, a energetic field that's able to kind of like, I don't know, phase shift from, let's say, like this physical reality when the body dies or whatever case may be, to some other level of frequency or whatever case may be. So it's that type of thing. But just to get into the language of it, what some people call it and how some people deal with it. Some people deal with it from the perspective of bardos. Okay, so when we get into the bardo of dreaming, refers to the period of sleep when we sleep. So that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier in this video when we talk about the sleep state and the dream state. We were asking Google AI these questions or whatever case may be. Well, what the Tibetan Buddhists call it is the dream bardo. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so much like the bardo between death and rebirth, where the mind is temporarily detached from the physical body and sensory inputs. Let's see here. Uh, and I didn't finish it off. Yeah. Um, let me see. It's basically that dream state that we were talking about, but it's the bardo for it that they allocate for it in Tibetan Buddhism and stuff like that. They even have such a thing as bardo yoga, where it's a particular type of yoga where they have certain practices where they prepare um, upon the moment of death. They prepare to die. They prepare to enter the bardo of death and everything like that. And they prepare to consciously die, so they'll be able to participate. Let's say, like in some of the things that happen in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, when they're able to travel consciously or whatever. Because from that perspective, everything is a dream. You see what I'm saying? They deal with the perspective of you know, of course, when you dream, it's a dream, but our waking reality, as you can see, it's a bardo, it's an in-between state. So it's even viewed from a perspective of a dream-like um, experience or what have you. So, you know, and there's a thing called within the same scope, how you have Bardo yoga. I think a part of Bardo yoga is, well, if I'm not mistaken, I have to get a, what I'm saying, beef up my bibliography and I'll come back and revisit this, a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, dream yoga is a part of Bardo yoga. And dream yoga, let's see, a spiritual practice rooted in Tibetan Buddhism and the Bon religious traditions that focuses on transforming the way one relates to sleep and dreaming. It goes beyond lucid dreaming, aiming to cultivate deeper awareness and explore the nature of the mind and reality. So, as you can see, there are various practices in that whole. Um, I don't know within Tibetan Buddhism itself that addresses this whole idea that the sleep state and the waking state are two variations basically of the same thing. Okay, so um and again, this is one of them things. I'm not trying to convince you or convert you to nothing or nothing like that. We just giving a little bit of contrast. This is how a certain group of people with who live by a certain philosophy. This is how they view things. You see what I'm saying? And it's actually quite intriguing because, okay, so like I said in the beginning of the video, I was going to propose an exercise for the viewer to actually try. Now, this is something that I've been, I was playing around with this um, for a couple of years, like years. Um, just doing it off and on, and it's been consistent for me. Um, let's say um, I would say try this when you find something in your day that kind of stands out in your awareness. You can do it. Um, you might you know a lot of this you might wake up and you might see something in your home, how your home is set up or something like that, or just various different things. You would be surprised what actually has some correlation. But okay, the exercise for the viewer to try, pick an experience within your day that stands out in your awareness for whatever reason. Write down the individual components of that particular situation and make an attempt to apply dream interpretations to waking phenomena. Yeah, apply dream interpretations to waking phenomena. Now, I will say this, like we always talk about the experiential. Um, there's a whole nother component to the experiential that's aspect. It's a let me see here. It's called dream reflections. So how you have reflections and various different types of reflections. So it is a component of it. That's called dream reflections. It works a little bit different than kind of like this, but I'm just putting this out there. Like if you wanted to take baby steps, remember in a previous video I said, hey, decoding your reality and stuff like that, how I'm talking or whatever with symbols, patterns, and principles, it may be a little heavy for the average person or whatever case may be. Try to start off maybe interpreting your dreams or whatever case may be. The reason why I figured this out, how I figured this out, because I ran into a period of time where it was difficult for me to have dreams. I didn't have dreams for a span of time, or whatever case may be. So I eventually experimented and figured this out. So I haven't really heard anybody else suggest this or whatever case may be. I don't know, the mind is a frequency, so if I'm thinking about it, somebody else probably might have wrote a book or something about it. I don't know. But yeah, give it a shot. Try to filter some of the things that you see in your day-to-day experience, like whole situations, not like random stuff like a random car you might see pass by a school bus. We all gonna see that. I'm talking about like maybe something that you observe, a situation that you may be in or whatever case may be, just like an occurrence similar to how a dream will unfold. So what I'm saying, that's just a little exercise that you can actually try. You come to find out that a lot of the symbolism, as far as that applies in the dream, the situations that have certain meanings in the dream, you'll find that it's the same symbolism. It applies in your waking experience as well, and you'll be surprised. You'll potentially unlock a little bit of a layer of communication with yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because that's who talking to you. It's your mind talking to you. So that'll be another way of doing it. Again, I would say couple this with listening to your first mind, all that stuff like that. But you have to kind of do some of this stuff for it to become real to you. When you do it and you see certain things, it'll become real to you, and then you'll kind of move on. But in the end, it's just another layer of a relationship with yourself. You see what I'm saying? So your mind, your subconscious mind, you know what I'm saying, your instincts, all that good stuff like that or whatever. It's you coming to grips with you. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. So that's all I got for today, man. I was just wanted y'all to just want to get into the Bardos and correlate that with the dream world and how the dream world is viewed as a counterpart to this world or whatever, but in some people's viewpoints, it's just two different kind of two levels of the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So like what you've been hearing, like and subscribe. I mean, peace and love, man.